The letter was typed on our company letterhead, our logo at the top, our address in the header, the font I had chosen when I designed the brand identity 2 years ago. And at the bottom, where both our names used to appear, there was only one: his. Effective immediately, it said. Your services are no longer required. I read it twice. Then I noticed something he hadn't. Something buried in paragraph 4 that told me he had made a mistake he couldn't take back. My name is Jade Simmons. I'm 36 years old. I'm a brand strategist, and I co-founded a boutique marketing consultancy called Forward Collective in Nashville, Tennessee. We worked with mid-sized regional businesses, restaurant groups, healthcare practices, retail brands, helping them find their voice and keep it consistent across every platform. I brought the strategy, I built the systems, I wrote every process document, every proposal template, every client onboarding packet the company used. My business partner was a man named Curtis. He brought the client relationships and the sales energy. We were genuinely a good team for about 18 months. He talked to rooms. I built what the rooms were talking about. I'm not someone who needs to be the loudest voice. I drove a 2017 Civic and worked from a home office with a standing desk I assembled myself. I didn't need the spotlight. I needed things to be built correctly and documented properly. That turned out to be the most important thing about me, because when Curtis decided to push me out, he used a contract template I had written. He just didn't read it as carefully as I had. Drop your city or your country in the comments right now. I always want to know where these stories land. And if someone has ever tried to take what you built, subscribe. You're going to want to stay until the end of this one. It started in month 19 of the partnership. Curtis landed a meeting with Carver Hospitality Group, a regional restaurant chain with 11 locations across Tennessee and Georgia. It was the biggest prospect we'd ever had, potential contract value around $180,000 annually. I put together the full pitch deck, the strategy framework, the pricing model. Curtis presented it. That was how we always worked. Carver said yes 2 weeks later, and that's when things shifted. Curtis started having calls with the Carver team without looping me in. At first, I assumed it was just scheduling. Then I noticed the project management platform, which I had set up and administered, showed him removing my access from the Carver workspace. I got an automated notification. I don't think he realized those went to me. I didn't say anything. I took a screenshot. Then I logged my access removal with a timestamp in a document I'd started keeping 3 weeks earlier when I'd first noticed the tone of our conversations changing. The termination letter arrived on a Friday morning via email. No phone call first, no conversation, just the letter, on our letterhead, signed by Curtis as sole managing director. Sole Managing Director, a title that did not exist in any document we had ever filed together. That was Betrayal 1, the erasure, the Friday letter, the one-sided title. Betrayal 2 came that same afternoon when I tried to log into our company bank account and found my access had been removed. I called the bank. They told me account changes had been authorized by the primary account holder. Curtis had listed himself as primary when we opened it, another thing I hadn't caught at the time, another thing I had now written down with a date and a time. Betrayal 3 was quieter, and in some ways, the worst. I found out through a mutual contact that Curtis had told the Carver team that Forward Collective had undergone a restructuring and that he was now the sole operator. He had told them I had stepped back voluntarily, by choice, to pursue other interests. I had never been consulted. I had never agreed to anything. I was simply being written out of my own story in real time. I sat at my standing desk that Friday evening and I let myself feel it for about an hour. Then I opened my files. What Curtis didn't know was that the contract template he had used to terminate me, the one I'd written 18 months ago as our standard partnership severance template, contained a clause I had included because I'd read enough business horror stories to know partnerships go wrong. Paragraph 4, subsection B. It stated that any unilateral termination of a founding partner required a documented buyout offer at fair market valuation within 30 days, or the termination was considered void, and the terminating party assumed full liability for any losses incurred by the wrongfully terminated partner. He used my own clause. What he also didn't know was that I had retained a personal copy of the original incorporation documents showing equal founding ownership, and that I had screenshots of the project management platform showing my removal from Carver files, time-stamped before my termination letter arrived, which meant the termination was not the beginning of the separation. It was an attempted cover for actions already taken. I called my mentor, a woman named Gloria, that Saturday morning. Gloria had built and sold 2 businesses over 20 years and now consulted independently for founders in dispute situations. She had known me for 4 years. When I explained what had happened, she was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "He used your own template." "Yes," I said. "Did he read paragraph 4?" "I don't think so." She said, "Call a business attorney Monday morning. Do not respond to the letter until you do. And Jade, don't delete anything." I had already printed everything. Twice. My attorney was a woman named Fiona, efficient and direct. She reviewed the documents Monday afternoon and confirmed what Gloria had suspected. The termination as executed was procedurally invalid under the terms of the partnership agreement I had drafted. No buyout offer had been made, no fair market valuation had been conducted. The 30-day clock started from the date of the letter. Fiona also flagged the Carver situation. If Curtis had diverted a client relationship that originated from joint business development without offering compensation, that was a separate claim related to misappropriation of business assets. We sent a formal response letter Wednesday. It cited the clause contract, demanded the buyout offer within the 30-day window, and requested a full accounting of the Carver engagement from its origination date. Curtis called me Thursday evening. He hadn't used that tone with me for a year, the careful one, the one where he chose each word a half second before saying it. "I think there's been a misunderstanding," I said. Paragraph 4, subsection B. Silence. "I think we should talk," he said. "Have your attorney call Fiona. She has my availability." The negotiation took 3 weeks. At the end of it, Curtis bought out my founding stake at a valuation Fiona and I had independently assessed. He also agreed to a revenue share arrangement on the Carver contract for its first contract year, acknowledging my contribution to the pitch and onboarding work. I signed the final agreement on a Tuesday afternoon and went home and made dinner and watched something unremarkable on TV and slept very well. I'm independent now, running my own consultancy under my own name. 3 clients in the first 2 months, 2 of whom came through referrals from people who knew my work from Forward Collective. My desk is still the same standing one I assembled myself. The Civic now has 94,000 miles on it. What I know is this: document what you build. Not because you expect betrayal, because your work deserves a record that belongs to you. A contract you write should protect you first. Read every clause, then read it again. The most important thing I ever put in a document was the clause I almost didn't include because I thought we'd never need it. If a business partner, a coworker, or anyone has ever tried to erase your contribution to something you built together, I want to hear about it. Drop your story in the comments. Tell me what they took and what you did next. And comment your country name from where you're watching. Let's see how far this story travels to reach the people who need it. Your story has power. If you felt a connection to mine, please subscribe and share your journey in the comments. Every single person who clicks that subscribe button helps this community grow stronger. Thank you for being here. You're not alone in this, and you never were.